So everything, right, when you come in our teaching, right, prostration, right, 大礼拜 法座 这个都有意思 everything has a meaning, right? So for example, people think, when we do a prostration, they think, oh, I'm very high, special, that's why you do prostration. No, it is not like that. I'm just an excuse. Your Shangshi is just an excuse. But the real reason why you do a Dalibai is lower your ego, lower your pride. You understand? Because you come to center, right? You meet teacher. Why? Not to have a cup of coffee with him, but to learn something, right? If you need to learn, your ego must lower. If your ego is too high, you cannot learn anything in your life. So that's why we come, and when we see our teacher, we prostration, we do prostate, right? Prostration means lower your ego, no pride. Whatever you say, I'll listen, But judgment, I judge. Whether it is right or wrong, I judge. But I'll listen. I respect your teaching. You understand? Because Buddha said, I teach, but I'm not going to say this is right and this is wrong. You will decide whether it is right or wrong. But there has to be a respect between teacher and student, right? So that's why 大礼拜有意思，意思是 no ego, no pride. So we are coming back to the three vehicle, right? What 小车、大车、名车吗？
对，密乘。
Something 3, right? So first one is you do everything. Why? Because you don't want to live in this samsara. You want to go away from this samsara. That's their motivation, right? But the Mahayana, Shenjiao, or I don't know, whatever you say, right? Is why you do? Because your limitless compassion and limitless love to everybody. That's your motivation. Whatever you do, 大礼拜、讲佛法、学佛法都 right? Why you do? Because out of love and compassion to every sentient beings in this and in the whole universe, even your enemy, you should wish happiness for your own enemy.
What is that?
Enemy.
敌人.
Right? So that's the motivation. They have lots of motivation actually, right? But the main one, the first one, 小车 or something, this is to attain enlightenment. I want to be free from this suffering, this world. But suffering, right, there's also another meaning. It's not like, oh, 头痛、脚痛，这个不是头，that's not the suffering, real suffering. There's another one, right? So for the middle, 显教 or 大乘 is why we do so much thing, go to center, learn, 打坐，都为什么？ Because 爱心是吧？compassion, 慈悲 because not for your friend and family only. Because for your friend and for family, we don't need love and compassion. We already have everybody, right? But for every sentient being, it's easy. But when we say compassion for your own enemy, then very difficult. Oh, 不可能, right? Yeah, that's the motivation. It has to be that motivation. Yes. Yeah. So the last one, right, Mi Jiao, it's just put it in an easy way, the reason why they do all those stuff is the motivation is always the pure perception. Pure. 你知道吗？ Yeah, everything is whatever you hear is a mantra, whatever you see is a, God. Understand? Let's say pure perception.
纯洁
干净啊 pure 干净 Perception is, you see, whatever you see, pure. Whatever you feel, pure. Whatever you eat, pure. It doesn't mean clean and dirty, right? But how you see it. Understand? Yeah. For example, I will give you one example. Easy one. So you guys will understand. For example, we some Mi Jiao 的人 when they eat a meat, right? They say, oh, Mi Jiao 可以吃肉, right? So this is not the only part. The whole complete explanation is that for Michao, right, there's not Michao, let's say for these tantric practitioners, right, when you eat a meat, right, maybe you see, right, this is a meat, but I see it's not a meat, right, it's something like a nectar. You know what is nectar? Like very holy thing, very pure thing, right? So this is one easy, right? So if you have that ability to see meat as something very pure, then you can eat, right? So if someone give you a shit instead of meat, at that very moment, if you can see a shit as pure and can eat a meat, eat a shit, yeah, then you are qualified to eat a meat. Yeah, really, I'm not joking. That's how it is. Yeah, so to eat a meat, right, you need a certain ability, really. Your perception has to be some high level. Otherwise, you know, if you can eat a meat, but when you see a poo, right, that you can't eat, then you're not, qualified to eat a meat. That's how it works, right? So the full, explanation is something like that. But in our life, right, not only in our life, also only in Taipei, let's say, you will see lots of tujar and eating meat, right? But don't bother asking them, oh, you have that perception, you know, are you qualified? Don't bother, don't judge. That's not our work, you know. He's eating, whatever he's doing, he's responsible for his own action, right? We have no need to judge or try to bother him asking, are you that highly qualified master or anything? No need to ask. Most important thing is that you make sure you have your own compassion and love intact, right? You make sure if you eat meat, you have that kind of perception, right? Something like that. So, yeah, don't bother asking.